Hi guys, welcome to part 7. We are nearly there. So just before I started recording, I did just do some little adjustments to the cake. Just readjusted the size of it because I felt like it looked a bit too small, especially on the base. So in order to do that, you can do that yourself so you can keep it the same, but I will say if you are looking to change the size of your cake, make sure you change the base first. Because if, as you can see, because it's a parent, it affects both the base and the icing. And if you change the icing and then change the base, just me simultaneously, so make sure you change the base before you change the icing. It also change the count on top and the size of the sprinkles. So if I bring you back to the geometry now, so simply all I did was pretty much double the density max on the right hand side, but then also halved the scale. That's all I did. So moving on to this part, we're going to start adding in the background. So to do this, we're going to import external models just to create the scene. Like obviously the main focus is the cake which we've created. So this is just literally, he's just filling in the background. So we're going to get that. So if you click the link in the description, it'll take you to Sketchfab. And I've already found us some cupcakes, which we'll be only using the chocolate one, but we're just going to download all three anyway. So in order to download this, we download 3D model. I want it in a blend format. So we download that. And it will download in the top right for you. Then you can just unzip it and assign it to a folder along with all the rest of this, along with the blend project. And so now that you have that downloaded and in a file, let's import it into Blender. So to do that, click File. We're not clicking Import, because that's more if you have external tools, because it's already a .blend file, we can simply click Append. And if I just bring you out wherever you have it saved, you can go and collect it, you press Cupcake, go to Object, and I believe you want Cupcake C, so we append that. Oh, now that should be in the design. There it is, it's quite large. Now that we have our cupcake, we're going to scale it down, just like so. Obviously, as you can see now, we've got a problem that the sprinkles are far too large. That's because it's used this for the sprinkles. And we're just going to scale this down really small. And then we're going to apply its scale. And that should fix this problem over here. Yep, much better. And now that we have that, I don't want to figure this camera. We go back to layer, sorry. Back to camera. I don't want to just like put them all across the floor, like scattered. We could just individually place them, but obviously it's a lot of time and effort that we don't need to spend. So if we go into this mode, viewport shading, and just see what we'll just focus on it for now. This is the way we're going to be putting the cupcakes on. So to begin with, we're going to need a geometry node for the plane, and it's pretty much basically the same rules as the icing. So we can simply just copy this over by pressing Ctrl C and then Ctrl V. Bring that here. Go there. I can get there. Back and get there. And obviously instead of the sphere, cupcake C. Oh. Now, the reason we had that problem is I believe starters just needs to be smaller, and then we need to confirm its scale. So now if we go back to the plane and we select cupcake, that's much better. Like I'm scaled up there, back to their original size, so do you think we'll be okay? That might be a little bit too big. No, I think that's okay. Yeah, I'm happy with that. So, now, like we wanted with the icing, we don't want it all over the place. We also need the distance to be a lot smaller. Not quite that though. I'm gonna go with 0.05. Yeah, sorry. This way it gets interesting. Because if we was to just try and white paint on that right now, see nothing's really happening. You can white paint in this corner here, but we want to paint all over. And that's due to not being any vertices. So if I go into edit mode, as you can see, it's just the plane is just four corners. So we're going to need to subdivide this. Now the problem is if you go here and we click subdivide surface, it's the same way it rounded. You want to keep the same shape. So to fix this, now that we're in edit mode and we right click, we can press subdivide. It's now going to face all faces. Subdivide again, and subdivide one more time. And that should be completely fine. And then that is completely subdivided. We can now supposedly paint all other surfaces. Increase my radius. Maybe not that much. And we'll make sure that we don't get it under the cake stand. And just paint all the way around. Just like so. Maybe one more time. Just around there. Yeah, so I'm okay with that. Just a little bit more in this corner. Just like so. And I'm happy with that. We'll go back into object mode now. Goes back to the geometry nodes. Go to data, and we'll change the name of this to Cupcake. And Shift A in here now. Go to attribute, type in named attribute. And we put that where the density factor is. And set the name to Cupcake. As you can see now, it's only in the areas that we've allowed it to be. I do want to scale it down a little bit, I think. Just increase density max and change that back to 0.02. We'll try that. Yeah, just want a bit more cupcakes in there. There is a bit of overlap actually, so we'll go to 0.0. Okay. That's fine. I'm okay with that. We can do the same to the back wall. If you want to just subdivide it again and again. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get the original cupcake. And I'm going to move it into the scene. I'm just going to increase the scale of it. And almost as if it's like got a giant cupcake in the background. See what that looks like. There we go. Go back in layout. And that's much better. Then we go to the render room. Press 0. Press 0. Much better. Right, so now we can move on to the next tool, and it's called the Compositor. So what the Compositor does is basically allows you to add like an effect to the final render. So while you're in rendering mode, or if you rendered your final image, you can put some sort of stylized effects, like you can change the art style, um, you can change the colours scheme. We're going to use it to add glare, to add a bit of realism to it, because we have got metallic objects in the scene, and it will need to, create glare, because that's it. It works. So while you're on the Compositor, you can use nodes, and if you press the home key, you might be able to just zoom out and find it, but if you press the home key, it will bring you to the render layers and the composite. Now, at the moment, I've currently got nothing to work on basically. It needs a rendered image for it to work as a reference. So before we go back to layouts and render, we go here and see with the render it's 4096 samples. So we've been sitting there for quite a while. We've been sitting there for like a good hour or two. And if you really needed that high perfect quality of a picture, then we would do that at the very end, but we don't even need it to be that high when we do a final render. So I'm going to drop it down to 50 because we just need a reference photo now to work on. And then I go to click the render. Well, as you can see now, my image is rendered. Took me 3 minutes 12. If you have a bit of a more powerful PC with better GPU, it shouldn't take as long. But if you go back to the compositor, you can press Control Shift left click on the render layer, or bring in the rendered image. Press V to zoom out the image and press Alt V to move, Alt middle mouse click to move the image, and then middle mouse click to move the nodes. Add a little viewer. You can just bring that over here. And then we can start adding the glares. So, in order to do this, we need to first press Shift A to add. And we can go, then we got to filter, we got to glare. We can just type in glare. And we'll add that to the viewer for now. As you can see, it's kind of lit up the whole scene. Not very many streaks. We need to see what high quality looks like. Yeah, so we need to do some little tweaks. For starters, we want more streaks. So I'll say 16. Right back to the apply. Go. You go. And control that quality. And because it's kind of lost everything, it's because it's due to the threshold being too low. And I think it's going to need to be quite high. And we're going to start at 30. If it needs to be lowered, it can be lowered. Start at 15 and make our way up. 15 seems to be quite fine. So I'll change this colour mix. Not the colour mix, the mix. Change this to 1. We'll show me just the glare. As you can see, it's only really capturing the top part and a little bit of the cake stand. I'm quite happy with that. It's back to 1. No, not 1. 0. So, looking much better already. Next, we need to Control Shift D. We need to add the fog to it. They obviously got the streaks of a glare, and you've got kind of like a fog around it. So all we're going to do is change the fog. We'll make that high quality and up the size. If I put that into there instead, how does that look? You can see what it's like to lower the threshold. Next. There's not much going on there for the size. That's right there. Yeah, okay, that's fine. So now we need to blend these together. Let's do that quite simply. Press Shift A. Type in mix. That. Join that. Then from mix to add. And the streaks are kind of a bit too much. So if we can adjust the strength of the streaks by adjusting this value here. So if I go to 0.1. Yeah, so if we just put that to 1, reduce that far too bright by that 0.1. See how that looks. Yep, that's fine. And then we need to add it all together to the original image. If I bring this over again, I'll just mix again. Oh, what we can do actually is we can just duplicate this bit there, all that there, doing that there, they're going to all the way up to 1. And join that to there instead. Like that. Join that to there as well. I just expand it, oh, not 2. A little bit of a glare to it now. So that's a bit too high, yeah. So we are right with around about the 0.2 mark. That's all done. And then this menu here at the bottom, you actually change this to the 3D viewport. Just make life a bit easier if I just go to camera. And I go to render. Find the glare, yep. So if I go to this drop down menu, you can see the compositor is disabled. I'm going to press it always. It's glare do its work. Then we'll have that glare to it. At all times. You can see it's now got that glare. Obviously, if I change this value now, increases the glare there. I'll just change that to 3. Down on that. 3. There you go. So now it applies the effect in real time rather than just on the rendered image, which is what we wanted. Right then, so that's everything to show you, I do believe, for the compositor. All you really need to take away is just that although we've added glare to our scene, which is what we wanted, you can apply multiple effects. You can change the art style to make it look a bit more like a painting. Change the lens distortion to make it look a bit like an older photo. As long as you realise that it's kind of like a filter. So, if you have a Snapchat and you put filters on, or you got just on the regular camera you can put filters. Oh, that's basically what this does to it. So that's it now for part 7, I believe we're on. I'm going to leave it there. Moving forward, we'll be looking more to the home stretch, which is the animation, and then the rendering. So that's all for now. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next part.